secret now.
Hello? Are we not doing the intro?
I want to tell you my secret now.
I can't hear nothing. Oh my gosh, Sunday.
Welcome to Blondes and Booze. You are about to embark on a journey, one that often leads to more questions than answers. But fear not, your host, Krista, Aaron, and Brandy have the experience, the perseverance, and yes, even the gifts to pull back the veil and allow us to glimpse the other side. They will share not only their experiences, but will introduce you to world-renowned researchers and experiencers to help you find answers in the murky waters of what we call the paranormal. Their bonds with each other reach far beyond friendship, resulting in a pull-no-punches approach to the many subjects they explore. Their goal? To open eyes, hearts, and even minds to what lies on the other side, and the answers residing there.
So what do I do?
We're back on track. Sorry. Let me just start this off. Before we came on, I was talking about my mother being in the hospital, and friends of ours loaned her one of those little strollers that you can sit in, right? And it's from a person who is deceased. I investigated that house. Yes, it is haunted. Anyway, I said, oh, great. So now I'm going to have an uptick in this person being in my home because I have one of their objects in my home. And as soon as I started talking about that, everything went haywire. I was like, there it is. There it is. Anyway, Aaron, go ahead.
Okay. Welcome to our Sunday crazy.
Right?
This is what you get when you get impromptu. Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome to our podcast. This is our Sunday 4 in the afternoon business. This is what you get. So enjoy.
In the raw and unpolished, I'm just saying.
In the raw and unpolished. This is our Sunday best, everyone. And so you get the craziness. This is our everyday lives, everyone. This is our everyday lives.
Well,
we just look a lot better on Thursdays and Fridays, but today's Sunday. Today's the day for rest, and we're not resting.
Yeah. Hibernation. We need hibernation.
Afternoon coffee. Cheers, everyone.
Right, exactly. We just thought we would do something a little different today.
Hey, why not? Why not? You know?
Yeah, we want to talk about evidence and collecting it. And we've been doing the paranormal stuff for a long time, and we're just going to explain how we do things. Not that anybody else, the way they do it, that it's wrong. It's just how we do it.
Right,
and,
right.
Take what you want with a grain of salt, fine. If not, then, that's okay too. But this is just how we do things.
It boils down to you do you, boo-boo.
Right.
You do you, boo-boo. I mean, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a way of doing things. And, I mean, we both can agree, Kristen and Brandy, that there is no,
Perfect way.
Yes, is there a guideline to follow? But everybody has their own guideline. This is a field that is uncharted. Yep. So, you have to follow kind of a rule of thumb from other people to kind of, they've done their research. So, you need a path to follow. But, we're not saying that everybody needs to follow this path, but we're just saying that, hey, they've already done the work. Save yourself some time. you know, it's kind of that idea. But
Yeah. And we also
I
believe
mean,
too, doing paranormal, as long as we've been doing it, your reputation is everything. So as Brandy always says, when in doubt, throw it out. Big believer in that. And we don't fake evidence. We never have. We do not condone anybody that does. So like I said, your reputation when you're investigating, and I feel it's not only the paranormal, but when you're investigating UFOs or cryptids, a lot of the
anything.
same principles, can be used. So
yeah, we're, this field is under scrutiny all the time. So that,
Yeah.
that's why we say when in doubt, throw it out. We're like, if you cannot see that plain as day, then you know what, it's not worth the time to put it out there, because I don't want people coming at me saying, well, this could be this and this could be this. I don't want to have any doubt when I put something out there.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
Now,
anyway,
when we say
the
throw
way I
it
wanted
out,
to,
sometimes set it aside. Sometimes there's something in a picture that you may not see the first time, or somebody else, another set of eyes can maybe see. But I would say if you don't see something and it just doesn't, it's not projecting what you maybe experienced, set it aside for a little while.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
go back to it.
I actually have pictures that I'm going to show of things that are often misconstrued as being like orbs or things like that, and what I believe to be what a true orb is. I know Brandy has something to read real quick, and I do believe what she's going to read here. Go ahead, Brandy, read
well,
that.
it's something that I see all over, and it just rings a bell for me. It says, you must always be willing to truly consider evidence that contradicts your beliefs and admit the possibility that you may be wrong. Intelligence isn't knowing everything. It's challenging everything you know.
Yeah.
So,
So
yes. Where did
I
you
wanna
get that?
I see it everywhere. I don't know. It's my omen. It just pops up and I see it everywhere.
That's
all the time.
I really like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely something that we all, and not even in the paranormal field. I think just experiencing life in general.
Yeah.
Life in general. Absolutely.
You can't. Okay. Nobody likes a know-it-all.
Right.
So don't be that know-it-all, but be an educator. Be an educator. There's nothing wrong with educating the public and letting people know and sharing information.
Right.
But don't be so narrow-minded that you become a know-it-all.
Right.
Open your ideas and your thoughts to experiencing something else, but also critiquing your own work.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And we always, whenever we go,
people, I show 1,000 people my stuff.
Yeah. Well, when we go into any investigation, when we get called to private cases, we definitely go in. You can tell us your house is haunted all day long. Not that we don't believe you, but we have to have proof for ourselves.
Right.
So we always look for a reasonable explanation. And it could be numerous things, anywhere from, high EMF readings, or, somebody could be taking even the wrong medicines, that can kind of mess with you.
Exactly. So, I don't know if a lot of our viewers know that I have a degree in psychology. I have a pretty big degree in psychology, abnormal sociology, and human development.
Mm-hmm.
So when we go to investigations, and Krista, you've gotten to experience this with me when we've been on different teams and stuff, where, unknowing to sometimes the person, and even I don't mean to sometimes, but I am watching. I'm watching for certain things within that person, because now they could have a mental illness. They could be experiencing distress that can amplify. Doesn't always mean that just because they're experiencing mental illness that they're not experiencing a haunting.
Right.
That we're talking about two different things. I personally think that people who have mental illness, they actually experience more hauntings, to be honest.
I was getting ready to say that. Yeah.
That's my
Yeah,
opinion. I feel
absolutely.
like they're more vulnerable and their brains are more open to certain things, including medications and things like that. It's lowering some, heightening some, you know. So I don't disregard just because I see mental illness that this person isn't experiencing a haunting, but we have to take that into account. You know, Krista, remember we went to an investigation at one time. I'm not going to say where or what, but there was an extreme amount of drug use going on, and they were not shy about it at all.
Yeah, it was
And
illegal drug use. It was not just marijuana. Just throw that out
right,
there.
right,
A little stronger.
okay, yeah. We
Yeah,
ain't talking about a little skunk weed out in the barn.
yeah, right.
You know, we're talking about some stuff where I was like, oh, wow, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you know, we did put that aside. We put prejudice aside,
Mhm.
our thoughts aside. We investigated, and we did find that there were
Mhm.
some activity going on. Very subtle, but there was activity going on. But Krista, if you remember, you know, while that activity was a little bit heightened, it was the drug induced moments
Mhm.
that, you know, who,
That heightened
it's
it.
hard
Yeah.
it's hard to say,
Yes.
you know, which one.
Mhm.
So I just had to go on that tangent. That was just a little bit of the psychology of Aaron coming
Yeah.
out a little bit, where I just wanted to
Yeah.
wanted to bring that out, that yes, you know, there's
Yeah.
That's why we
lots
love
of
you.
things.
Yep. And that's another thing, you know, whenever we do get called into cases, you know, we get called into really nice, fancy homes. We've been called into really, really not so nice homes. Putting it nicely. And we don't judge. Honestly,
We've
we
gone
don't.
No.
everywhere. We've gone to $1 million homes, and then I've investigated
The slum of the slum. And the one that we did, Aaron, it wasn't the one you're talking about. You know, it wasn't in a great area, and it was not really a nice home, you know.
No,
and,
it wasn't.
But again, we don't
we're there
judge.
to help. It doesn't matter.
Right. We don't judge anybody, you know, their living situations, or, you know, even the drug use. We took that into account, you know, but we weren't there to judge them for their drug use.
I saw it just as a documentation, you know,
That's what we
document,
did. Yeah.
acknowledge, and move forward. And I think that that is a lot of what people need to do in this field, is where they may see something that they don't agree with.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
You know, we don't agree with certain drug use, but we documented and we moved forward. We still found evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's another thing that with people, they need to wrap their mind around. And it's even with pictures, you document and you move forward. You still are constantly thinking in a scientific way.
Yep.
Exactly.
This is coming from the person who talks to damn dead people. I mean,
and
I
speaking
get
on
it.
that,
It's so hard.
And here's the thing too, speaking on the person that talks to dead people, when we do a private case, we do take a psychic medium like Erin in the home. She has no clue where we're going. She has no clue who lives there. She has no clue with nothing. Usually one of us will pick her up and she goes blind. We give her no information.
Krista, what do I do when somebody starts accidentally telling me stuff because they're excited and they don't realize, or they're just speaking? What do I do?
Right.
I'm always like, la, 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 la. I was like, no. And that's like everybody's clue, like, uh-oh, shush up. Aaron does, like, it's like the big dramatic thing of like, no, don't tell her. And it's on accident, of course. You know, people are excited and they're just discussing what they've already discussed with other people to be prepared. And they forget that I'm in the car or I'm on the phone or somewhere, you know. But no, they don't tell me anything.
No.
Whether
because why we do this, and you know, she'll do a walkthrough and she'll be taking notes. We don't even have the homeowner there with her.
No.
You know, the homeowner is separate. We don't tell them anything on the first time we're there. Absolutely nothing. And a lot of times we don't even do an investigation when we're first there. We do what's called a walkthrough. We'll take different baseline readings, that the whole 9 yards, and then we see if a true full-on investigation is warranted.
Whether that's based off of the medium's evidence or the equipment.
Right.
Now, I think most of the time we can I think most of the time we'll investigate if one or the other says yes.
Yeah.
Because a medium cannot pick up they might pick up nothing, but equipment will.
Right.
That generally will say that
and then
spirits are hiding.
Right. And then what we do is if an investigation is warranted, we go in with a crew. And then, we'll investigate as long as things are happening. We might be done by midnight. We might be done by 4 or 5 a.m. As long as things are going on and we're collecting evidence, we will stay.
And it's usually not just one time going in either. Just to make that clear.
Right.
It's not one time we go in and say your house is haunted.
Right.
It's we've got to do it over several different times.
Well, and here's
to
the
document
thing,
to make sure it's not the house creaking or something wrong with the electricity, or we have to go through all of that, and that takes time.
Yeah.
Right. And that's basically like what Brandy's saying is we're following up on what we have already documented.
Right.
So if there's an issue with, okay, let's say we're picking up high EMF in a room because the wiring is bad. Not only does that, yes, it picks up high EMF, that affects the person who is in that room and people who go into that room. So we need to determine a lot of different things. So kind of like what Brandy already said is that, we have to start kind of what evidence did we get, narrow it down,
right,
help fix the situation, and investigate again.
Right. And then once we do the investigation, again, we don't tell the homeowner if we had an entity walk by us. We tell them nothing at this point. We never want to freak them out any more than they already are. So we ask to give us about a week to go through all of our evidence. That includes EVPs, pictures, the whole 9 yards, audio, video, the whole 9 yards. And then we go back to their house and we tell them everything that we captured. We usually try to give them copies of everything that we captured, and then we can give them our suggestions of what to do to, either remove something or, like Erin said, it could be bad wiring. You need to get this checked out type thing. So that's kind of our run through of how, our investigations are handled. And when we're finished, we don't throw that client away either. Like if they have more problems, 3 years down the road, we'll come back and help them. We don't wash our hands of anybody either. So,
I know firsthand that Brandy and Krista, especially, they still speak to people and still continue to help people that they have been to and helped. Even if it's just answering questions. I mean, those two are very wonderful at making sure. I have ADD and I don't answer messages.
Right. I did see Brandy had put a question up we can answer real quick. See, Country Boy
psychedelics. That is something okay, so I'm going to touch base on that a little bit because I have been doing a lot of my hippie work of stuff, reading about it. I personally don't do psychedelics. Never really have done them. For a medium, I just feel like it's opening Pandora's box. Now, do I think that it could do that for somebody else? Yes, I'm sure that it probably can. I can't. It's the scientific part and the metaphysical part of me that has a very difficult time determining if what you're seeing is what you're seeing. And now it's your reality, yes, but is it of this realm or is it a hallucination? That's hard for me to say.
Right.
Brandy, maybe you have something.
And no, what I was going to say is, when people are on those type of drugs, they're hallucinating about all kinds of things. Who can say what's for real and what's not for real? So my question would be, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
don't.
Well, my answer would be, I don't know. I mean, so
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I can't say either way. I know that for me personally, when we do investigations, and I know Brandy and Krista are the same way with this. I try to be as whole with the earth as absolute possible. That meaning water, eating a good dinner beforehand. It's like kind of almost like you're getting ready to work a marathon, because even though, yes, okay, I'm a medium and I'm working mentally, they're working mentally as well.
Yeah.
When they're in these places, because they're constantly thinking we have to stay up late. We're moving equipment. We don't have equipment boys. I wish we did, but we don't. I'd love to have a roadie. We don't have a roadie. So we're doing all of that ourselves. And it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of emotional work too, because you don't know what you're getting into. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, we don't know. So we're having to be at our finest. So every time we go do an investigation, me, Chris, and Brandy, we will go eat a good dinner. But we make sure that it's a good dinner, not some crap food. We try to go and eat a good dinner. We try to drink a lot of water. We try to be more in line. So that's how we investigate.
Yeah.
That seems to be what has worked for us, and we still see crap. I still see stuff. Brandy sees it.
Yeah.
Right. In talking about that, even though, we try to ground ourselves and align our mind and our spirit and our body all in one. So when we walk in here, we're not thinking about everything else. We're just focused on what we're going to do. But
Yeah.
I will tell you, the paranormal hangover is real.
Oh God. Yes.
We have walked out of places, and I have felt like I sat there and I drank a fifth of something, and I feel horrible. Like it's like, sometimes I feel like I'm going to be sick. I'm very nauseated. It's bad, and it's real. And I just, thought I'd throw that out there. It is real. It takes a lot out of you.
And that's another thing. We never, ever investigate while we are drinking. There's
never.
Never.
It's bad enough afterwards. I already know what's coming. So I'm like, you couldn't even add a drink onto that. I wouldn't make it.
Right. I want to jump over to talk about orbs. So orbs are a big heated discussion. And
why don't you tell everybody what an orb is? Because there might be some people that are confused at exactly what an orb is.
Well, it's the circles and stuff people capture in pictures, and orbs can be anything. They can be definitely paranormal related, but they can also be dust. They can be bugs. And I'm going to show examples of all of this. And I'm going to show an example of what I truly think a real orb is and why. So I'm going to start off by showing different pictures here of why these next three pictures, I do not believe they are anything but dust pictures. And I believe Erin and Brandy will agree with me. I'm going to show you this one here. If you see all of the circles there, that is probably looks
too
like
many.
A basement. Looks like a dusty basement.
Yeah. First off, there's too many.
Yeah. And then if you look at this one, same thing. There is just they're outside, and it's just these in my book are 110% dust orbs. This one here, if you look at the top here, this is an example of dust illuminated by the flash. People say, "Oh, I see a face in it." Okay,
that's pareidoia. I mean, you'll see a face in a.
I've
seen book. Jesus in a Tostito. So,
well, look, if you look at this, you can see a face in this picture. That, though, is clearly dust.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's called pareidoia. Like you can make a face that we are predispositioned to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to show a picture of what I believe to be a true orb, a true paranormal orb.
Tail. Yep.
got the tail. It's got a light trail.
Well,
and
I mean, the light behind it, it's
Yep.
got it's moving in a
right.
direction, it's got some substance to it with the
Exactly.
shading on the top
Yep.
there.
And it's
And
got
it has its own,
force to it.
first and foremost, it has its own light source.
Yes, that was exactly what I was going to say. Also, yes, it has its own. It's
Mhm.
glowing.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not from a flash. That is its own light source. It's producing
Right.
that light by itself, and nothing else is making it do that. So yes.
Mhm.
Yep. So I fully believe that one myself to be
Well,
a
because
true paranormal orb.
anybody who is, I mean, I know Krista and I have. I'm sure Brandy has as well. Seen an actual orb with their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember the first time I ever saw one, and I was shocked and I was surprised. And it's still to this day I can't explain it because I was in a room with no windows. Let me
Yeah.
say it again. A room with no windows. No,
Right.
like the door was closed. I'm in there, nothing. And I
Right.
saw a bluish greenish ball
Yeah.
zip along, and me and another person saw it, and by the time I said what was that, it was gone.
Yeah.
And
I have to say I do agree with Paranormal Pixie here, and some not only glow but they flash like a pop of an old camera flash. True
Yes,
story.
they
yes,
do.
yes,
Yes, they
that is
do.
still emanating energy. Yes.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm going to
And
show
so
you guys. Go ahead,
with these
Erin.
things though, real quick, with these things being able to, what I saw, it was a light. It was a light. And that's why what Brandy's saying, it's projecting its own light. That is because when you actually visually see one with your eyes, they are like a tiny ball glowing. It looked like I would say it was the size of a quarter for me. This one was the size of a quarter moving along, and it was glowing. So,
See, the one I saw was the size of a softball, and it was at Tri-County Truck Stop, and it was back in I think like 2013, and it was blue, and I seen it with my eyes, but it also had the tail.
that was the second time I'd ever seen one, and it was when I was down in the basement with Mark, and we saw several of them actually.
Yeah.
And they were blue. They were blue, and they were, I would say, between the size of I want to say almost like a ping pong ball size.
Yeah.
And they would move across, and we did everything we could to debunk that. And so they're bright when you can see them with your eyes.
So I'm going to show another common misconception. I got two more here to show you, slides here to show you. This one here is a picture, and these are common. People say, oh, there's a ghost captured in this picture. This here is actually dust in motion that's reflecting off your camera flash.
Mm-hmm.
So my advice to people, when you take pictures, always, and I believe Brandy will and Erin will agree with this, turn your flash off.
Right.
Oh yeah.
This is what you're getting. This is people are like, oh, I got something, it's definitely, it's dust in motion on a lot of these pictures. Another common thing that is shown is this here. These are actually bugs in motion. And a lot of people say, oh, I got a picture, of what is this, or whatever. And bugs is a big thing where you can see, the wings and things like that. So two big misconceptions about orbs.
I can't tell you how many bugs I've caught. I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my God, look. And I'm like, oh, it's a bug.
Yes.
And then you're like, dang it. I just don't want it to be a bug.
Right. But I mean, again, that's where we go back to, we look for real evidence, and it's when in doubt, throw it out. So if I don't see that tail and I don't see the whole where it's the orb is full, I personally throw it out. Again, your reputation's everything. So
I don't need pictures of bugs.
Right.
Nope.
Right. We throw them out. So that's our method. Like Night Marionette Production, she says a fairy. And that's true. A lot of people misconstrue bug pictures as being pictures of fairies. But I mean, I can bring that back up and you can see where it does. It looks like there's a fairy.
I mean,
you
it
know,
looks
It
like
sure
it
enough
definitely.
does.
It's got legs,
right.
especially that
exactly.
one towards the bottom. The bottom right there. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. And 110%, we believe in fairies. They're out there,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
just, in these particular pictures, these are absolutely bugs in motion. So another thing I want to,
what is that? Ania? Is it Ania? Ania
what's that?
asked, "What's the different? What's the
What is the
significance of the different
significance?
colors?"
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm looking for my phone, and I
I know
I
mine's really
might be
super
all
small,
creepy.
and I'm like, wait a minute.
I don't want to be all creepy and get all zoomed in.
I'm
me see
old.
these bags. I don't know if there is. I mean, like with seeing them with your eyes, I've only seen them a couple times, so I don't know if there's a significance of color. I think they are just illuminating energy and color. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
it's hard for me to say. Krista or Brandy, do you have an idea of
I don't feel color. It could, because I've heard of people, like the one I saw was a real pretty blue with my eye. So, but I've also heard people, have a cryptid experience and they see a white orb or a orange orb, or something. So I can't say if something means different colors. I personally have not experienced that.
It's almost
Right.
like we need to have more of that particular type of evidence to be able to come to a determination, because being able to see orbs with your actual eyes is very uncommon.
Right.
And then to be able to capture
absolutely.
it too. So it's kind of hard to say what the color.
Yeah, because I'm always the fool to be looking at the orb, but not thinking I've got a camera in my hand.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
It was
It's
the
like
same
I'm too
thing. I'm
busy looking
standing
at the
there.
orb, and I'm like, oh look, and then it's like I'm like, why didn't I take a picture? Because that's me. I get caught
Same
up in the
thing.
moment and forget.
I was doing the same exact thing. I mean, I was just like, my reaction is like, look closer. I'm like, what the heck is that? And then
Right.
it's gone, because
And
your
like
mind
I
is still
said,
trying to process what
Right.
exactly you're seeing,
Yeah.
especially when you see that. And I mean,
Yes.
my first reaction was, who's coming? Like to turn around and look, because it wasn't a flashlight, but it was
Right.
like, oh, I'm in a completely dark room.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Right. Also with the picture taking, and we'll move on to different pictures that I have that are true legit pics that I believe they're true legit pics. I do want to reiterate, just because we do this way and this is our way of thinking about these orbs pictures doesn't mean we're right. This is just how we believe. So we're not knocking someone who believes different. So please don't think that. This is just
right. This is just what we have gathered from our time doing
years
it.
of doing this. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I don't want anybody to be offended or anything.
And
like
we love learning different ways as well.
Yep,
so if people have something new that they're
if
doing,
I can find something that works better than what I'm already using, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Absolutely. While you do that, Krista, I have to go. It's Sunday. I have to go stir my soup.
Okay.
I sound like an old woman, but I do. I'm like super paranoid about my soup on the stove. So I'll be right back.
Okay. Go ahead.
So while Aaron's gone, we can talk about more about picture taking. And I believe even out in the cryptid world, this can be utilized. We never take one picture and move our camera. We always take nothing less than 3 consecutive pictures. And I'm going to explain that why here in just a minute. I have Jeremiah Fountain gave me permission to use his pictures, and he did absolutely right and took them in 3s, and you can see where a figure's moving. So I'll show that here in a minute. And I believe even out people who are into, Bigfoot research or dogman research, if you're out there taking pictures, always take pictures of 3. I feel like even if it's a Bigfoot out there, if they move or it's gone, well, that shows pretty credible evidence if they're taken in 3.
Now, if you're taking them during the day, you can take like 3 burst shots, like bam, 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 in a row. And then I recommend if you're taking them that fast, then do it again. 1, 2, 3. Just, keep shooting it, and you will see this thing move. Like one of those, what are they called? The flip movies, like you on the paper, and you flip it and you see things move on the paper as they're drawn in. That's kind of like what you're looking for evidence. When
Exactly.
you're doing night vision, now I have to have a little bit more of, how should I say, I have to leave my camera open a little bit longer when I'm in night vision. And it's like 3 seconds, sometimes 5 seconds, where I have to soak in all the light to actually get a picture of the room. That takes a little longer, but again, I don't move the camera. But instead of just a bam, 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 it's like 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. So within 15 seconds, I will catch something if it's moving.
Right.
And actually, when you're dealing with cryptid or a haunting of any sort, that's a long time. That's 15 seconds is a long time, because sometimes that's all we get is maybe like a split second of seeing something. But hopefully you can catch something doing that. Because the shutter speed has to go longer at night. We all know that. So, but always take it 3s, no matter what the shutter speed is.
Exactly. So I've got 2 different sets of pictures to show you all that we believe are true, actually legit pictures. Jeremiah Fountain sent me 3 pictures, and I'm going to put the first one up. So this was taken. You can see the window there, and you can see 2 figures. I'm going to go on to the second one. You can see the one figure's gone and the other's moved. And there you go. And there it is again. So he did it in thirds, and I think I actually did them in wrong order. There's the second one and then the third. So to me, that he did that 110% absolutely correct when taking those pictures. He got pictures of 3s. And
Krista, would you mind showing that one more time?
Sure. So there's the one. You see 2 figures in the window. Here's the next one. There's another one. And then you see this one. It's gone and moved. They've been gone and moved. So that to me is a true, legit paranormal picture. He captured something there for sure.
Yeah.
I remember Brandy catching something like that. Do you have Brandy's picture?
I have a different picture Brandy sent me.
Because I have that one, or I remember seeing that one that Brandy took. That was amazing. That was really, though it was at the hotel you were at.
Oh, actually, it was the one with the 2
manifestations. The one with the woman? Oh my gosh.
We're talking about this one.
Yeah. Do you have that close up?
That's the one.
Yeah.
I sent you a close up. Did you get that one?
I don't know if I put it on the computer or not. I don't think I put it on the computer.
Well, you can take a second, and then I can tell everybody what's going on with it. You can take your time and get that. Anyway, so in this photo, I'm standing in this hallway, and I know I've told the story again, but when I took the picture, I didn't see anything because there's kind of a big blob there in the middle. Well, that's my big head and hair. I mean, it's right there. You can see my glare in the glass. I had my daughter with me, and I told her, stand behind me so you're not in this picture. Well, when I snapped the picture, up at the top corner, there's 2 people walking. And besides those other 2 people, that's the only living 2 people in the picture besides myself. There are 5 people in that picture altogether. So 3 of us were living, 2 were not. And they are 2 totally different manifestations. One was a clear, color, vivid, full-bodied apparition. In that picture. The other one was more of a misty ghost type, but it was a very clear type of manifestation, but it was ghostly white, but it was there. But it was 2 different kinds, and it was so amazing to catch that.
Honestly, Brandy, that's one of the better pictures I've seen in a really long time that you took. Like that was like to where I was trying to figure out what I was looking for because I thought that was a person. And then when you sent the next one, I was like, ooh, I see what she's talking about now.
And I didn't even realize that, and I got befuddled and I went down to, the front desk and was telling them about it. But I'd only seen one of the apparitions at the time because it was the female and she had caught me like right off guard. I was like, God, look at her, look at her. Well, Keith Age, if you know who Keith Age is, he is really an awesome dude, been in the paranormal forever. He's very knowledgeable, and he texted me and he said, hey, did you look at the other one? And he pointed it out for me. And I said, you have got to be kidding. I didn't even see that one. So he said, you need to go, make sure there's nothing there. So I had taken a video the very next morning. I went out in that hallway, went up and down this. There was no pictures, no flowers, no tables. There was nothing in this hallway that would project any type of image.
Yeah.
So it was like,
put it back up there because Midnight Watchers said they don't see anything. So Midnight, if you look at the handrails that are going up, you can see a woman's figure. She's got dark hair. It looks like her
so hard. It really is hard to see.
It's hard to see on that.
You got to have Brandy's close up.
Yeah, and I don't.
Maybe we could post that on the page.
We'll post on Blondes and Booze page.
Yeah, we'll post it. Yeah, because
this doesn't do it any justice. It's an amazing picture.
No, it's an amazing photo. It's 100%.
Oh my gosh!
Like I said, there's two other people.
Exactly who it is. Like as in, like it's a woman. You could see her hair up, almost like what I have. Like I mean, it's like it's up. Like you can see everything. It is.
Yeah, it's like you could see that she was from a different era. It was not today.
She's like, I would say like almost like the 20s or 30s.
20s, 30s, somewhere in there.
40s. Like they said, almost like that Flapper Girl era.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
Right.
I'm going to show another set of pictures that these were sent to Brandy, and it was taken at the Rogers Theater in
I was there that night. I wasn't in that part.
So here's the first picture I'm going to show. There is a circle around, and you can vaguely see a little something sitting in the seats. If you go to the next picture, you can get more definition there, and it definitely looks like there's somebody sitting in the theater.
You see, it looks like a woman with blonde hair sitting right in that chair.
Yeah. So, Brandy, you want to talk about that since you were there that night?
Yeah. So we actually had an event, and it was towards the end of the night, and one of the members of the group I was with at the time, she decided that she was going to go back in and just take a couple more pictures because people were leaving and it was late. And she had taken 3 pictures, bam, 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 one right after another. And the first one, you didn't see it. Second one, you saw it. Then, it's the third one. You're just like, dang, it's right there. And there was nobody in the theater. There was not a guest left in that theater. They were in other spots. There was nobody sitting in those chairs.
So that's a cool picture. I've got a few more pictures here to show you that are really, really credible evidence. This next one was taken at the Pythian Castle in Springfield, Missouri by a teammate of ours, Lori McGuire. So we'll give her credit for this picture. You can see
Lori
here.
McGuire.
This was taken. This was my favorite. I recognize the room, so I know this is in the basement.
Yep.
Of the Pythian Castle.
I saw an order. I think.
Aaron, we're losing you.
We're losing you a little.
Aaron,
I have to say, did she come back in?
She's back. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Aaron. You're back.
Isn't this where we hid the herbs before, Krista, when we were down there?
A lot of stuff. I've been to the Pythian a gazillion times, so I've had a lot of experiences down here in this area myself.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking
You're cutting out, Aaron.
66.
Yeah.
You're cutting out on me, Aaron.
All right.
So let me just tell you the background on this picture. Now, Katie Stafford was at this event, and he was showing some different techniques that he was using, some new things that he was coming up with. And this actual technique that he's using here, he did use on, what is that? What is that? His newest show?
Devil's Perch or something?
Thank you. Ghost of Devil's Perch. That just lost my mind. I kept thinking Morgan City, but that's not the one. But he actually used this in that TV show. But I'm telling you right here, what you thought you seen on TV was fake. It is not fake. Because right here, if you're looking at the screen on the, it would be, I guess, on the right hand side. Are you seeing on the right hand side? There is a like a black figure, just sticking right out, like peeking right in the screen, like, hey, you know, I don't know if anybody can see it, but it's there. And if you look at it close up, it's really strange looking. I'm standing a couple feet behind her, and and she was taking pictures, so I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on. I mean, she was just taking pictures. She didn't even see it until after she took them and then started looking. And then
it's obviously blocking out the light as well. I mean, that's the other thing.
So then she got with KD, and they both got looking at it. He verified, hey, there was nobody standing there. There was nothing going on there. Yeah. You got something. So it was verified, know, and it was just simply an amazing catch of a black figure standing there.
Yeah. Yep.
And even you didn't see it with your naked eye. Yeah. So that was a fantastic catch.
Yeah. And like I said, that was at the Pythian Castle in Springfield, Missouri. The next picture are we do not take credit for these pictures. These are not our pictures. I just think these are cool ghost pictures. The first one I'm going to show you is a picture of the Waverly Hills girl. And I do know the person who took this picture, and it is par none one of the best paranormal captures I've ever seen. And the gentleman that took this picture, he is now deceased, but I knew him personally. He never faked evidence or anything like that. But this is a picture here. So this is in one of the hallways here, and you can see the girl looking out.
That is a holy crap moment.
It is.
Yes, it is.
This was taken in 2006.
The picture of the person that they think it is, and then you put that next to it. Absolutely. That is a I don't want to say the word that really is coming to my head, but
right.
That is
if you notice her feet are transparent. They're just transparent down there.
Yes.
Right.
And that is a holy crap moment.
Yeah. Yep. The backstory on this picture too, he was up there by himself. There wasn't anybody else up there. And like I said, I knew this guy personally. He does not fake evidence, but he is known for his picture taking. He takes pictures. He just gets a feeling and he would start snapping. He's taken several award-winning paranormal pictures. And I assure you, this is not Photoshop. This is 100% legit.
He obviously he had a gift of being able to have that instinct. I think in some ways they probably wanted him to. I've got my camera off because it helps with the Wi-Fi. Sorry.
That's okay.
But I think that they, he probably had a ability to a degree where they would allow him to take these pictures and would show him, hey, you can take them, because that right there,
he definitely, I think he definitely had a Claire for sure.
Right. Can you fake that picture? Yes, you can fake it. Mm-hmm. But that's the demon that we're always battling, is that, we have to prove who was there. We take the picture, we take the evidence, but we still have to prove who was there. And if he's saying that nobody was there, not only does he have to find somebody to do that, but he also has to find somebody who looks like the girl in the picture that they think it is. Come on.
Right.
That is amazing.
The next picture I want to take, it's a well-known picture out there, and it's at the Myrtles Plantation. And this backstory is that Chloe the slave,
I love this picture.
Poisoned the family. Anyway, I'm gonna show you. They say this is a picture of Chloe. I'm going to show you
super famous picture. Yes, very famous.
Okay, so you can kind of see her here between the post, hanging back, and I'm going to the bigger version here. This is the same picture, but it's just kind of enhanced, a little closer. So you can see a person. It looks like in period clothing, which
and she has a turban on as well.
right?
or a
Exactly.
head wrap of some sort.
Right. And then here's the up close one. So, I don't know who took this picture. I have no idea. They say it's 110% paranormal. Who am I to doubt it? I do know the Myrtles is pretty haunted. So
Yeah.
a lot of crazy
Yeah.
stuff happens there.
Yeah,
So
that's an
I-
amazing picture.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love that.
Yeah, I do too. It's an awesome picture. Awesome picture. Hold on one second. You guys go ahead and keep talking. I just got a
Real
text.
quick, I just want to say real quick to Jen, I think her name was Jen Eric. She is a first timer on here. And so I just want to give a quick shout out to her since she's a newbie to the clan.
Yay.
And yes,
Jen.
and appreciate her being here. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to her since she's new to the group of people. So
yeah, DA says he thinks he saw two people in that image. You know what? After this, we'll
Which image are you talking about? And I can put it back up.
I think it was Myrtles. I think that's when it popped up the first time.
Okay, here's the far away one. And then
I'm looking.
I can bring the up close one in if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Okay.
And see if I can.
There's the close up version.
Oh, real quick, I just have to say, Jen Eric. Eric is the person on there. Jen is his girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Hi,
Eric.
Look at him.
Awesome.
Look at them combining the two and being sweet. That's so cute. Sorry, not to call you out there, Eric, but
we love cute love. We love cute love.
So,
yes, it's sweet.
I'm looking for a second person. I'd like to, DA, can you let us know where you see the other figure, please?
Yeah. Because
I'd like to go back in and look at that and see if he said, look at the right edge of the porch. So let me go back into it. Right edge of the porch. I'm going to do the close-up version. Right edge of the porch.
Yes, I see what they're saying. We would probably have to really...
Yeah, it's hard for me to see, but I believe you 100%.
We really have to enhance that.
To the porch.
I see what they're saying.
Yeah. I will definitely do that. I will zoom it in, but
enhance that because it very well could be. It's a smaller figure.
Yeah.
Than Chloe, which the rumor of that location is that she poisoned
the family,
the children,
but she didn't mean to.
She didn't mean to. It was not. It was finding, trying to make sure that she was useful, which sadly, at that time of the world, it was a horrible time.
Yeah.
Put in a very horrible position.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow.
He says they're both in that circle.
Let's go to it again. Let's go to
it
one
because
more time.
I can't see it. It's so small for me to see.
Yes.
I do see that.
I do see what he is saying. I wish I could.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I kind of can.
Can you zoom it on your side? I can't on.
I can a little bit without looking all weird while I'm got my face all up in there.
I'd have to bring it up on my phone and zoom in and then screenshot it maybe,
Yeah, I will have to do that.
And there
also.
very
I'll have
well
to just
could
download that image.
And it could be something that was trying to manifest and didn't.
Could be. Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Kudos to whoever took that picture. I mean, it's a great picture.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it is a great picture. And I'm going to go back to that DA, I promise you, because I'm all about the pictures. I want to see. Do we have any more pictures?
Nope. Those are the ones that I put down to show everybody, to kind of.
Did we get any of the ones where we debunked something?
No, just the orb pictures.
Okay.
The ones that I put on.
We can talk about the picture we took with Clay McGuire. He was standing there.
I know what picture you're talking about. Let me see if I might have it.
Yeah, because this is a very good one. And it was definitely a debunking moment. Took us a minute because at first glance you're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yep. I'm going to go into and see if I can.
and there were several people in this picture. Now, we were at Ray County Museum, and I believe we were in the basement when this was taken, which the basement is so active.
Which that no, it was not taken in the basement. It was taken in the Indian Artifacts or the Civil War room.
So it was
Oh,
upstairs.
the Civil War room. That room is.
Yeah. Here it is. I got it. So give me just a minute, guys, and I will get it put on there. So
yeah. So this is going to show you exactly why you should look at the picture and relook at it and study it, blow it up, just to make sure you're actually seeing what you're seeing. And normally when I run across that, then I start asking, hey, can you look at this? But this, I mean, at first glance, this is kind of a crazy one, but at first glance, it was like, what is this?
So this picture, I'll give credit to our friend Aaron Smith, has taken this picture. And it was, I can tell by looking at it which room it was in. Actually, maybe you're right. Maybe it is the basement. Aaron, can you tell?
That's the basement.
Yeah. Okay. So here, people reached out because you see the hat, the
shadow on the wall.
The shadow on the wall saying, oh, she captured a cowboy. In actual reality, it is actually the reflection of the gentleman in the red shirt with his hat being backwards. And, people sent it like freaking out. Oh my gosh, we captured a cowboy. Sorry, you did not. But this is, a way to, and then once we realized, that it's his hat and then the way it is coming off the door there, it's 110% just his shadow. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's just the way that the miter was done in the door and the way the light was hitting the miter, it created the bill of the hat, and then the way he was wearing his baseball cap, which was on backwards, created the back of the hat. So it was really cool. It was really cool. But like I said, the way the miter came in at the door, just the way the shadow hit it, just created the bill of the front of this hat. And that was pretty cool though. I'm gonna
send DA that picture real quick. So keep talking, Aaron. He has to send it. So I'm going to do that.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. But I mean, it was really interesting. We're at 57 minutes. Do you want to take a few minutes anyway? And then, because I have to use the little girl's room.
Yeah. I'm
drinking Mountain Dew. And let me tell you, I don't like Mountain Dew because it runs through me. I'm a Pepsi girl, and now I gotta go.
Yeah. So guys, let's give us 5 minutes. I'll play the countdown. Give us time to use the restroom and that kind of good stuff. And let me get DA this picture sent, and then we'll be back here after the break. So hang tight. Aaron, you just came back on, but
yes. And
give us
that time of
day.
day.
Go stir your soup. Go stir your soup.
We will be back in 5 minutes, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Four minutes to go, folks. 4 minutes. 3 minutes. We're almost there. Two-minute warning, guys. 2-minute warning. One minute. 1 minute.
How's everybody doing? Okay. Thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate that. And
Thank you so much.
during the break, DA sent that picture back to me, and I see it clear as day, what he sent. And also, Country Boy Cryptids, Chris, also sent me another picture we're going to show too. So,
Okay.
so this
I
one
love
here,
when people put pictures.
yeah, is the
Oh,
one
yeah, I
here.
see now.
And it looks like an African American man, honestly, leaning against the wall. It's what it looks like to
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
good
gonna have
eye.
to get that, blow that up for sure.
Yeah, that's a real
Yes,
good eye.
absolutely.
So I definitely see absolutely something
I
there.
see
So
something. I sure do. There is something there.
yep, for sure it was. So I got to add in the other picture that Chris sent, and this is a well-known picture as well.
I seen him talking about that on the
Yeah,
in the chat, and I'm like, yeah, I know that picture, but I can't pull anything up right now. I'm kind of stuck right
yeah.
here where I am,
Well, I
and
got
I'm
to
afraid
figure
to
out.
sneeze. But you know what I had done is I took my selenite ball back here that I charged my crystals with, and I said, you know what? I wonder if I put it in this room, will it charge my room? Now I'm going to say we had an interview yesterday, and I did absolutely fine. Didn't blink out. It was great. I've had perfect since we got started, except for the beginning. But
Yeah,
I think it was something else. But I seriously think that it might be just staying there from now on.
right, right. Right, exactly. So I got this other picture that Country Boy Cryptid sent me, and I've seen this one before, and
This is a
it's
creepy picture.
Yeah, it was taken at Amityville, and the backstory is people think it could even be a demonic type.
Yeah, it could be demonic. Yeah.
But you see the boy there. Apparently, Ed and Lorraine Warren, if I remember correctly on this, I believe took this picture, and there wasn't any children in the house at this time. So, I don't know, but it's a well-known picture out there, and it's
Yeah.
definitely a creepy picture. It
Mhm.
does
It's
look like
creepy.
the little guy John DeFeo. It really does peeking out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and
It,
if Ed and Lorraine Warren, are 110% legit, on their pictures and stuff, then we have no reason to doubt it. We weren't there. So, but
no, no. And
so
that is like, for me, I would believe that was legit only because of the specific eye shine that it had, and then the way it was looking. It looked human but inhuman. I would
right.
lean more towards on the demonic side of that one.
Yep, I would agree.
Something mimicking a human.
Mhm.
That's what
Because
I would
again,
say.
it goes back to the demonic. What do they appear a lot as old people and children? We trust old people and children. We we
Mhm.
bring them into us, be it on the spirit side or the human form. So
Well, just even the fact that it's trying to mimic and look like a past residence, a
yeah,
Yeah.
resident of that
Yeah.
home. I mean, that to me, whether it's old or young or middle aged, I mean, just the fact that it's mimicking
That screams
yeah,
demonic, don't it?
that
right.
to me is very like not good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Well,
So
Val said on here, she said she would love
you're,
to know
you're cutting
more
out,
about
Brandy.
crystals. And actually, huh?
Brandy, you're totally cutting out.
Oh, I have a signal.
Yeah,
There,
you,
you're
you
good
did
now.
just
You're good
cut out.
now.
You're good now.
Oh, okay. I said Val said that she would like to know more about crystals, and we were just talking about that, doing a show on crystals and metaphysical things. So
Yeah.
look for that in the upcoming. I think we were planning it on in March. I think that we were going to do a
Yeah.
whole show just on that itself. So
Or maybe we'll do and we could even maybe do another impromptu one night, like
exactly.
we'll give
Mhm.
some time to lead in, and Brandy, you can get some of your crystals out, I'll get some of mine, and we'll talk about them and talk about how
Between
to
you and
cleanse them
I
and
think we've got the whole realm covered. We're good.
I think so.
right. So I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I know Brandy really enjoys crystals. I enjoy
I do.
crystals. Krista's getting into it and learning more about them and stuff.
Mhm. I keep
So
the basics,
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with just the basics too,
Yep.
Oh, yeah, no. But, I was sitting there one night, and I got to tell the story real quick. I was sitting there one night, and I had just gotten some crystals in, and I got them cleansed and everything. And I'm sitting here, and I'm looking. It's a piece of raw citrine calcite. So I'm
Mhm.
looking at it, and I'm like, oh, this is so pretty. And it's supposed to help you. Um, how would you put that, Erin? To succeed in your personal life, your business life. It's supposed to help you with fortune,
it's
that sort of thing.
yes, yes. It's how I've heard it described is that it's like your best friend cheerleader.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like,
there you go.
you can make it, you can do it, like just like your best friend cheerleader. You're
Mhm.
gonna make tons of money. Like, it's just like it amplifies all the major points of your day,
Right.
of your regular day, and it's like it's like your cheerleader in life.
Exactly. So, well, anyway, I was holding on to it, and then Krista calls, and then she has some amazing news, and she's telling me about it.
Mhm.
I said, you know what? I said, Krista, you need this one. You need to have this one. And sure enough,
Mhm.
as soon as the next time I saw her, I handed it right to her. I said, here you
Yeah.
go.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
So
was meant for her
it
because
was.
she called me right when I was playing with it. I'm like, well, this one's meant for you. Here you go.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
Well, and they
Absolutely.
do
Yeah.
that. Crystals are really weird. They they're known for finding the people that need them because they gravitate
Yeah.
towards somebody who needs
People.
that. Yeah, they gravitate towards the person who needs that, and the person who needs that gravitates towards them. It's kind of the whole magnetic
Yeah.
feel of
Right.
things. So they both gravitate towards one another.
Mhm.
I have completely lost crystals before. Like, remember Krista when I went to Brittany's house and I literally lost all of my crystals. I mean,
Yeah.
I am somebody that does not just lose my crystals.
Yeah. I do remember that.
I don't just lose them, but I had to really wrap my mind around the fact that they went somewhere that they needed to go.
Yeah.
And crystals will appear and they will disappear. My son is a perfect example of crystals just appearing. I mean,
True.
he through our property, he has and mind you, where I live, rose quartz does not just grow completely naturally. I mean, it does grow out here in certain areas, but not the way that he finds it. He finds rose quartz all over our property, and not just like little pieces. I'm talking big hunks of rose quartz.
That's a true story. I've witnessed
And
it.
it's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. He's 13 years old. He's not, and he's been doing this for how many years now, Krista? Like since we moved here.
Yeah. I actually have a pretty good big chunk that he gave me upstairs.
Yeah, because he gives it to people. He gives it as a gift, and it's not just any gift. It has a lot of heart to him because he's very funny about it.
Yeah.
He won't just give it to anybody. But he finds it. He goes, and I know Krista and I have both asked him, like, how do you know? And he's like, I don't know. I just go out there, I find it, I feel this urge to dig, and it's there. And it will be in places that, and he will say this, it's in places that he's already looked there before. And all of a sudden there'll be a huge piece. My favorite story is I want to say probably about 6 months ago, we put in a outdoor arena, horse riding arena. Anybody who knows when you put a sand arena in, you have to dig below the dirt. So you dig way deep down, and then you put layers of rock and whatnot, so that way it doesn't get all like muddy and everything. At least where we're at, we needed to do that. So we had a huge pile of sand and huge pile of rock and dirt and all that business. So we could put this outdoor arena, horse riding arena in there. I want to say, I mean, we did this probably a year ago now. About 5-6 months ago, he was out there and he was messing around with his horse out there and stuff. And he got off and he found a huge piece of rose quartz just out in the riding arena. There's no reason for that to be out there. I mean, it's all sand. It's been dug up and done. I don't know how he found it, but he found it.
Yeah.
And
he finds a lot of them. He does. He definitely finds.
He does. He finds a ton of them. So that's my point is that crystals find people that need them, and people find them as well.
Yeah. Country Boy Cryptids asks, Blonde, you ever heard of Dudleytown, Connecticut, Dark Entry Forest? I have not.
I have
not either.
But it sounds like an interesting place.
Hold on, I'm going to write it down.
Dark Entry Forest in Dudleytown, Connecticut.
And that's dark. Okay, got it.
Yeah, that would be a cool place to check out.
Real quick, I grabbed a piece that like he found. I just want to show people like how big these pieces of rose quartz that he finds are. Right. And actually, these are probably a little bit like on the average size. He's found some that are like 3 times this size. Yeah. Like they're big chunks. I just had to show people that it's not just little tiny pebbles.
Right.
That he's finding. These are
Yeah, pretty big size because
Huge.
mine is pretty big size too.
Yeah, I think he
We'll,
gave you one of his bigger ones.
he did. So like I said, we will do an upcoming show on crystals and we'll talk
Yes.
more in depth about all of that and show different crystals and what they're good for. And honestly, it'll probably be an impromptu show like this. So just stay tuned. This was just kind of a spur of the moment deal. We were just
Yeah, you called me
talking
at
this
9.
morning
You called me at 9 a.m. after I took a leave PM.
Yeah, and you're up in here.
I was like, I'm not in my body yet, Krista.
Well, you
Yeah,
should
so
be.
all three of us are on the phone together going,
Right.
get
And
out
then
of
she's like,
bed.
oh, I'm going to add Brandy in too. And I'm like, oh, Lord, I'm not in my body.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, we just kind of wanted to explain to everybody, how we do investigate it. Our way is not right and yours is wrong, or our way is not wrong and yours is right. Take whatever bit you can use and use it for yourself. If not, that's fine. And as far as the pictures go, it doesn't mean because I believe that these are like the dust orbs or true orbs doesn't mean that you don't. And we respect that. We respect everybody's opinion. The only thing we're saying is just, what we have captured in the past and been doing this for so long, from our experience. That's all. We mean no disrespect to anybody out there.
No.
Or anything.
It's a learning experience though, too.
Yeah, we still learn. Yeah.
I want to say too that if people are unsure, feel free to send those to us, PM us. We know a lot of people. We can have them looked at, not just by us, but by other people. This is a place to learn. Nobody should feel ashamed. Nobody should feel embarrassed. If you don't want to post it on the page, totally understand. Message us, any one of us. And we will make sure that we'll get that looked at and we'll explain what the differences are without any shaming. There is no shame in this. This is a place for all of us to learn.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. Aaron, I think you summed it up. Like I said, it's just our experience and what we've been in doing, and as far as like, the cryptid side of taking pictures, I firmly believe also, to take in groups of 3 and cryptids, if they're there, they're going to move or something is going to be different. People always talk about the blurry pictures. I have seen some excellent cryptid pictures that are blurry, however it's moved. So to me, that's credible. So just keep that in mind. It's I think everything, we all can kind of investigate both the paranormal and the woo side of it all, real similar.
Yeah, we love the woo.
Yeah.
We love the woo.
We do.
Definitely.
We do. So
do you want to move on to our next subject?
Yeah. And it is EVPs.
Oh, yeah. That's that. Yeah, I'm the listening queen. I definitely, I want to hear it.
I'm going to let you and Aaron talk about that real quick. I got to run upstairs. I'll be right back.
Okay. In sitting here with Aaron's the one that hears them in here. She hears them inside. I hear them on the outside.
Right. We've been able to experience some weird stuff. So when Brandy and I do, I just call it the blindfold method, but it's called the Essex method, where you blindfold somebody. They have noise canceling headphones on while a ghost box, spirit box, whatever you call, is going. This is where I think it's a little bit different for me than other investigators, where I almost channel. The white noise puts me into a place of channeling. So I hear it different than what Brandy hears. And once in a while, we will catch something where I will hear it, say it first, and then Brandy can hear it, which those are fun. when we get those, but
Yeah, it's like validation right on the spot.
mhm,
You don't have to go
mhm,
back and hear it. It's like right there. And
mhm.
for me, disembodied voices make me like I'm excited when I hear those because I'm like, did you
Mhm.
hear that? And when somebody else says, yes, I heard it, I get excited. I'm like, okay,
Oh,
so
right. Yes.
and of course I've always got a recorder on me, and some of the best things that happened to me, again, this is how I am. I'll walk right in somewhere, not even have my equipment out, hadn't even set my bag down, and something will happen, and I'll be like,
Yes. Yes.
dang.
That happened at Malvern Manor.
Yeah.
Malvern Manor is a perfect example of that. I mean, I know we walked in and we saw like a coin just rolled across the floor. I was like, woo, this is going to be fun.
It's like I just walked in. I haven't even set my bag down. Hold
Right?
on.
It was like literally we're going in to go and like discuss like, okay, we got to do this, 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 and this. I like literally just walked in. Yeah, those are
Yeah,
fun.
it's
Those are
kind of
fun.
like I walked into a theater one time, and I was going to investigate this theater. Just walked in the door, and I heard a woman's voice, "Hello," and I thought,
Right? That's
there
just
is
like,
nobody else in here. I'm the only one here, and I'm like, well, good morning,
yeah.
because it was morning when I walked in because we were going to do an all day and all night, So I was like, well, good morning,
Right.
and it's like I know I don't hear them in my head. I hear
Right.
them with
It's
my
a
ears. And
right.
I'm like, wow, that is just crazy business.
Well,
Just
and what people don't understand that even as a medium, there are times where I definitely I don't want to say all the time, but I want to say 80% of the time I can hear the difference between psychic and with my ears. And Brandy and Krista both know like when I say like I heard that with my ears. Like my real ears. I heard that
yeah,
with
we
my
know
real
what you
ears.
meant. You hear it your ears.
Like they know what I mean, or when I say I saw it with my eyeballs. I saw it with my eyeballs. They're like,
I saw it
oh,
with my
I know what
eyeballs.
she means.
Right. And then, I am running around with my recorder, and I do have headphones on, and my best thing is when I hear something, especially if I'm walking around by myself, you'll hear me say Mark.
Mhm.
Just out of the blue. I'll be Mark.
Right.
That means I heard something that may not
Right.
be loud enough for somebody else to hear, but it was loud enough because I have my live listening earphones and all that on. But so I could go back and re-listen to it later, and I know to pay attention to that thing and
Right.
not dismiss it.
Right. And
A
that
lot of people,
saves so much time to just be
yes,
able to, if you hear something, say it. Also,
A lot of times, honestly, we write it down, the time too, the timestamp.
yeah,
yes, we've done that. I know we've done that before too. The other thing is if somebody, let's say drops something or says something or sneezes, we'll say Mark, sneeze.
Yeah.
And we know that was a that was a person.
Yeah. And we
yeah,
also, on that note, never whisper. If you got something,
Oh,
to
never
say, you need
whisper.
to say it out
Talk your
loud
normal
and
voice.
say it. Yes, you have to say it out loud and just say it, because if a whisper, it could be misconstrued as a EVP.
Yep.
Also,
absolutely.
it's something as simple as your stomach growling on an
Yeah.
EVP recording can sound like a demon growling. So if your stomach growls, you need to say,
I got a fart. Just say it.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say,
I got a fart. Mark.
I'll be the first one to go, that was me. That was me. That was me. And then, and then one time we're all sitting in this room, and it was pretty large. And there's these guys that were sitting way across the other side of the room. And one of them let one go. And he said, I didn't think anybody could heard me do that. I don't think anybody could hear me. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. We have equipment. It's called really good equipment.
I mean,
You just farted in my microphone.
yeah, he didn't stay very long after that.
I wouldn't either. I'd be mortified.
You
Oh my
but
gosh.
it happens. I mean,
It does.
if you burp,
It does.
you burp, or you have one of those little gurgle burps, the ones that start in your chest and go all the way up into your
right.
throat, Just
Right.
yell out, not yell out, please don't do that because that's really loud with earphones in, but just say, hey, that was me. And we'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
thank you. And,
And we'll move
just,
and we'll move past it.
yeah, make your partner aware that it was you making those bodily noises.
Right. Generally they'll know because they were sitting right next to you, but it's more for the recording. They're like, it's so don't go back. If they put it out of their mind.
Right. Right. And we sat there, for a long time. And I don't know what everybody ate that night. I really don't. I don't know if they all went to Taco Bell, ate Mexican somewhere else. I don't know. But I mean, there was gurgling and burping. And I thought, ooh, I'm glad I didn't go to
Wow.
eat
It's
there.
either a demon or bad Chinese.
Yeah, I'll go with the bad Chinese.
Right. Yeah. So those
Absolutely
things
bad Chinese.
definitely happens. And like, I can't, yeah, those are always, what my favorite is when we are doing, like one thing we like to do is we just like to talk normal. We'll just talk
Yeah.
about normal stuff because spirits seem to sometimes interact better if you're just pretending that you're shooting the SHIT, you're just shooting the shit and hanging out and just talking. And they seem to kind of interact a little bit more. My favorite is when I'm listening back at some of our dumb conversations of just like randomness and we get an EVP about like something important.
Right. Yep.
And I did find that if you're just sitting around just talking, if you talk in a normal voice, they will try to jump in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to think of this. Spirits are tired of what is your name? When were you born? Are you male or female? They get tired of that. They want to hear about your flat tire on your car, and they want to hear about your day at work. They want to talk about your favorite food.
Right.
They want to talk about stuff too. So if you're not getting any responses from the questions, because I do ask, what is your name? And I do ask those things just to establish who I'm talking with. But
It's
after
almost
that,
like a polite measure. It's almost like introducing yourself. It's
right.
a polite measure.
Right. And so, I mean, I do that, but then I get into stuff like, this one place that I went there, it was an old nursing home, and they spoke about this lady's, spirit had been in there and she'd spoke to people, da, da, da. So I'm like, okay. So I went in there and I sat down and I tried all the normal questions, got nothing, no hits on my equipment, no, nothing. But then I'm like, I started asking about, what is your favorite flower? Did you like high heels, or did you like flat shoes? Or, did you like flower dresses? Or, when I started asking questions like that, I started getting more responses, hits on my equipment, things like that. So if the first initial, what is your name type questions are not working, try getting a little more personal with, what they may have liked or anything. We were at Ray County Museum. This was in November, I think. I wasn't getting responses, and it was in the school room. And, talking about, the school, the teacher, blah, 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 that nothing worked. Then I finally said, who was your best friend in school? And a couple seconds went by, and in a faint little boy's voice, you heard George.
That's awesome.
So
doesn't that just make you smile? Like, it's just,
you just kind of have to hit on that, it just talk about different stuff. Talk amongst each other, keep that recorder rolling, because you never know what you're going to get.
Well, and the other thing too, and I know that we've done this several times, is when we're all sitting around and we're in the dark. We all know that sometimes, like ghost hunting is, you're literally sitting there for an hour
in the complete darkness
with nothing going on, and you're asking random questions.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can all get a little bit goofy and we start getting giggly and start talking about random stuff. And,
Yes.
I have to say that we generally will get a lot of EVPs when we get to that point. It's just kind of like, okay,
when we
what's
all get
happening?
giggly and forget why we're there.
Right.
You
And
know,
we just start talking and laughing about, it's almost like we're having girl talk, but we're just giggling and talking and stuff. I personally think that amplifies the energy in there because our energy is heightening and we're giggling and we're talking and we're like laughing. That's heightening the energy. Plus, it's giving it kind of, I don't know, just a different topic, if anything. So,
right.
Trying that, just letting loose sometimes and just talking with your friends and having a good time and laughing. It is harder to catch EVPs in between. Sometimes they're not as clear because you'll have somebody laugh right after or something like that. But at the end of the day, if you know that nobody else said that, it gives you that validation.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
You may not have the evidence to put out there for the public, especially if you don't know what topic you were talking about with your buddies beforehand.
Right.
And you're 100% correct. I mean, we'll sit there and crack up and just talk about life in general, and then
well, yeah, because we're sitting in the dark.
in.
What else are we gonna do?
Yeah.
What if
we'll also talk about topics we don't want the world knowing about either, and that's the stuff like we get an EVP right there. Nobody's ever going to hear it except
we forget
us.
that there's a recorder going, and we're just all sitting in a dark ass room talking about stuff, and then we're like, uh-oh, we got evidence. I mean,
whoops, now I can't even use it. Dang.
Right. It's just fun, and so I think that when you're amplifying that energy in there, they're able to communicate a little bit better because they're able to pull off that energy, and it's a more comfortable setting.
It is.
Imagine like if you were to go to a counselor, let's say, or a therapist, if they're just grilling you questions,
you're not going to say anything.
You're not going to say nothing. You're just going to be very clammed up. Imagine most ghosts have experienced some sort of trauma, hence why they're there.
Right.
So I know that when in the psychology realm of things, if you're trying to discuss something with somebody who's experienced trauma and you're just grilling them, how old are you? What year did you die? When was your mother born? Blah, 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 blah. They're going to have a harder time answering those questions. But if you start to relate to them personally, like you said, who was your best friend in school? What's your favorite flower? What's your favorite color? You may not get an answer right away, but you're connecting with them in a way that they will feel comfortable to respond. My theory is I always try to see ghosts as somebody's mother, father, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, whoever. Somebody at one point cared about this person and they were a family member. They want to communicate just like how we do at the dinner table.
Yeah.
Right.
One more thing that I would like to add to that is that also when we investigate, I don't care if it's a private case or if it's a public overnight event that we're doing, we don't get personal with what spirits are there. We don't offer up information about ourselves. We don't ask to, can you say someone's name in this room? That's getting personal. We don't ask to be touched. We don't ask that kind of thing. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it. But when you ask things like that, you are opening up and you don't know who you're talking to or what you're talking to. And that's how things can go wrong. So it's simple things like that we practice that, so we don't have anybody follow us home or.
Yeah, I never allow anyone to use my energy. A lot of people offer that up. Like, hey, you can use, no, do not use my energy. I'll put an EMF pump in the room or something else to create that energy, but I will not offer myself up for anything for my energy. No, I need that.
Right. There it is kind of like with I see it as any other, yes, they're ghosts, but any other person, you have boundaries.
Yeah.
With a stranger.
Yeah.
We can get to know one another, but I'm not going to allow you to invade my space.
Right. You're not taking my energy from me.
Right. No. And so when we say like get to know that person, we are going to ask questions that maybe are more related to them. Because if you think
Not
about
ourselves.
it, they want to say their story more than we need to say our story.
Right. Right.
So asking them questions is one thing.
Yeah.
You know, I personally, like what Krista had said, I don't go in there and say, hey, my name is Erin, I've got this many kids and I do
Yep.
this for a living and things like that, because that's connecting too much on a personal level, that as a medium, that cord, when I leave places, and this is really with anybody, to be honest, not just mediums, you like that connection.
Yeah.
It's harder to cut.
Yeah. You know, I will introduce myself, first name only.
Right. I do too.
Because you're going to hear that all night long anyway, because I'll be like, hey, Erin, can you bring me that piece of equipment? Can, you know, or
Right.
Krista, come here for a second.
Mhm.
You're going to hear our first names all night long. So when I introduce myself, it's first name and first name only. They don't need to get more personal than that.
Right.
Yeah.
I do the same thing. I do introduce myself. Sometimes I don't.
See, I don't. I've heard too many bad things. So me personally, and if I'm in a room and somebody's saying, "Hey, can you, just yell out someone's name?" I speak up, because listen, you're inviting that to not only yourself but to me too. And so I'm pretty strict on that. And only because, you know what? I was that person that'd be like, "Oh, can you touch my left leg? Oh, my name's Krista. I got 4 kids at home." And I was that person until I started studying demonology. Changed every way that I investigated.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
still do. We still do. Well, I don't say, hey, can you touch my left leg or anything like that.
Yeah.
Now I've had other investigators say, hey, if you're here, can you touch Erin's hand or something like that? I don't like that. I don't like it
Well,
when
I
somebody
did. If
touches
I
me.
hear them, I'll jump all over them.
I personally don't
Somebody
like it when
Yeah.
spirits touch me. That is
Right.
usually when I Scooby-Doo out of there. I don't
Yep.
like it. I hate it when they touch me. That is my biggest pet peeve, is I do not want them to touch me.
Yeah.
It
doesn't bother me, but I don't ask for it.
No,
I don't ask for it
asking,
either.
that's asking for a whole lot right there.
Yeah.
That's asking for
Right.
more than you bargained for is when
Right.
you ask
Yeah.
for it.
I don't like it, and it's kind of saying, make sure that you discuss that with the other person before, necessarily like they're blindfolded and
Yeah.
Right.
have the noise canceling before you say, hey, touch their left hand. Make sure that they're okay with it. Like I said, I personally, I will Scooby-Doo out of there. That is my biggest thing.
Mhm.
And that is generally the thing when I go into a location. I'll tell them, you can show me what you need to show me. I don't mind the gore. I can handle that. You can show yourself to me. I don't mind that, but do not touch me. I just don't like being touched.
And here's my thing. I don't really get touched as much as my hair getting pulled. And
See,
I think
touched.
women with long hair, it happens quite often.
Yeah, it does.
I'll get a tug or something on my hair. It's like, hey, I didn't give you.
And they're just trying to get your attention. I mean, that's an
Right.
attention getter.
Right. Right.
In the most childish sense of getting somebody's
Yeah.
attention. Well, let's pull their hair.
Right,
Let's it's more or less so they'll get attention. And that's basically what it comes down to.
What's so weird is I don't mind my hair getting tugged.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'll kind of like look around and do that business. I'm like, whoa, they tugged my hair. It's the touching, especially when I'm doing the blindfold method, the Essex method.
Mhm.
I feel extremely vulnerable, and that
You are
could
at that
be a
time.
lot of, because I'm
Mhm.
also channeling at that point as well. So
Mhm.
I'm very vulnerable to spirit. I have my protections that I put out there, but when they touch me, I think it makes me feel closer to them than I'm comfortable being.
Yeah.
Tugging,
Possibly, yeah.
pulling on my jacket or clothing, that to me is like, okay, all right. But touching my skin, that is the thing that
Mhm.
really gets me. It's too close for comfort, and I'll run.
Mhm.
And
Right.
you'll see me I think both of you have been on investigations where when I'm doing that, I will flip them headphones right off in that they touch
Like,
me
out.
Yeah.
because I'll
Yeah.
start
Break, I
warning.
gotta
I'm
go.
like, okay, they're really close. I can feel them. They're really close. They're really close. They touched me, and I throw everything off like a
Right.
pinata.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, for me though, coming from my point of view, if it happens, it happens. I'm not,
Yeah.
And there's some people that are totally fine with that. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
they're a little creeped out. It's all about boundaries. Each
Yeah.
person each investigator has their own boundaries. And that is why when you get like the three of us together, we each have our own boundaries so we can investigate in a different way. We each have our own
Mhm.
abilities, our own expertise, things like
Right.
that we can go in different directions at different lengths.
Right.
You know, when it comes to touching, we all know Erin doesn't do that. Okay,
Right.
Brandy, if they touch her, she's not going to freak the
Yeah.
hell out and run out the door.
Yeah,
No.
I don't mind it. I just don't offer it up to them.
Yeah, I don't offer.
No,
I don't
I don't
offer
think
it.
any
If
of
it
us.
happens,
Yeah.
okay.
Right. I don't think
All
any of us offer it up. It's just
Right.
more of like, if
Right.
it happens, Erin runs. If it happens, Brandy will be like, hey, back
Exactly.
off.
And Krista and I are pretty much the same. It's like if it happens, I'll take note that I just had an
Right.
experience. I just had it. Nobody can confirm that experience for you, but you can say, hey, it happened to me and I got touched in the neck. And then Krista's like 2 hours later, she comes around to the same place. She's like, hey, I got touched in the neck. That is evidence. Whether you
Right.
can, write it, see it in a picture or have it on an EVP, it's not there. But it's a personal experience that is validated by another person having the same thing happen in the same place. So don't ignore that. Don't ignore that.
Absolutely. Don't ignore that.
Right.
And we're coming up to almost an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah. It might be time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got soup. It's Sunday. It's soup day. Colin, my 13-year-old is a little old man at heart. And on Sundays, he wants either lasagna or soup.
There you go.
I'm gonna see this like in 20 years, and then I'll be like, okay, what you having, lasagna or soup?
Lasagna or soup.
He's gonna bring the whole family over to Mom's house to have lasagna or soup.
Yes, he is a little old man at heart, and he wanted soup.
I want to answer this question real quick.
Okay.
Have you been touched so much you've had to tell them to stop? For me personally, yes. Sometimes you can feel them in your space and you have to tell them, listen, you need to back off. And at times, you can be nice, but if they're very forceful, there's times like I'll even be like, you back the F off if they're if it's a negative type haunting and they're trying to bluff you or, get in your space type thing.
But there's other times where spirits can be timid or shy or the ones that figure out, hey, I can communicate.
Right.
And so they're sticking to you because you're the one, that's recognizing them, and they may stick with you, but you do have to tell them also, hey, you know what, it's space. You got to have your space.
Right.
So, I mean, it all depends. Just think of it as you're talking to a living person. How they're reacting to you is how you're going to react to them.
Yep.
If they're showing aggression, you make sure you tell them to back the F off.
Yeah.
If they're just being shy and following you around, you're going to say, hey, you know what? Give me a little space here. I'm not comfortable.
Right.
So, I mean, you just got to deal with each individual spirit as you see fit. Don't treat them all equally.
Yeah. Before we close up too and get off here, I do want to add one more thing. We personally do not taunt or provoke or anything like that. You see that on a lot of the ghost shows. And number one, that's opening yourself up to something. And number two, you know what? You get to go home. There's people that live in that home. Right. And there is, you're opening the people, up to something bad. So we never
don't poke sticks. Just do not poke sticks.
Right. And however, I will tell you this, doing some negative type cases, there have been times where it was needed to provoke and so very.
But that is a specialized situation that has
And very
a
rare.
plan of action.
Yeah. Very, very
and
rare.
it has already been planned out. That's completely, that's not ghost, that's not
Right.
ghost hunting. That is
Mhm.
that's trying to,
We're trying to
remove,
clear a space.
yeah,
Yes.
you're trying
And
to remove a unwanted entity that
Mhm.
is causing damage out of a home.
Yeah.
Those are two different
Right.
things.
And Erin's right. We have a plan. We know exactly what we're going to do. When we have an issue, we go outside, we regroup, come up with a different plan or adjust the plan, go back in. But if like I said, we don't ghost hunt and provoke. That is
No,
not.
those are
That
two
is
different,
not.
yeah, and those
Yep.
are two different things. And honestly, like we both, when we go into those situations, we know exactly, everybody has everybody has a job
Yeah.
Right.
when they're going into certain situations like that. So
Yeah.
everybody has their position that they need to
Right.
be in and stuff.
Right.
And
Yes.
And trust me when I say this, when we go into a home, we hope it's not haunted.
Right.
We don't want you to deal with this. We don't want this for you. So, our main concern is to go in there and try to debunk these things that you say that are happening. That is our main focus. Debunk what you're saying. So we can
Yeah.
come up with a rational explanation of why you're having these problems.
right.
Right.
Until
Right.
it comes to the point where we can't explain it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And when we can't explain it, we try to, we can't, you can't remove ghosts unwillingly out of there. You can't, I personally cannot remove stuff like that. Like I understand that there's some people that can. I don't know exactly how they do that because
Mhm.
I just don't do that. But we won't leave you hanging.
Right.
We'll give you
We'll get you some help.
tools and things to at least be able to coincide. I live in a haunted house. Brandy lives in a haunted house. I
Mhm.
mean, you can live peacefully. I live very comfortably in my house.
Yeah.
I'm very, now, do things happen once in a while that to where it gets a little uncomfortable? Yeah, yeah. And I know
Yeah.
that that's when I need to do the certain things I need to do, and then things calm down again. It's
Yeah.
maintenance. No different than having to go change your light bulbs and do a bunch of other stuff so you
Right.
don't get annoyed.
Yeah.
Right.
Real quick, I want to, Jen Eric asked, is this stuff really dangerous though? Can they really harm you? Absolutely, they can.
Yeah.
They can. That our feelings on this, if you're good in life, you're good in death. If you're bad in life, you can be bad in death. And there's a lot of nasty human entities out there, which human entities are different than the demonic, and demonics are there, very few and far between. So yes, absolutely. Even though, if you're a nasty, crabby old lady in death, in your life, chances are if you come back as a ghost, you're not going to be so nice.
Right.
Right.
So
Right.
yes, absolutely.
Well,
If
I've
you're
been,
an a-hole, you'll always be an a-hole. That's
right,
it.
right.
Yes.
Well,
and
I've been scratched
yep,
a couple times
Mhm.
now. And it was very unnerving when I was. I didn't do anything to provoke it. I didn't
Right.
do anything out of the scope of what we do. It was just one of those things where I knew that is part of the deal. That's
Mhm.
part of what I'm doing. So, it's going to happen at times. And I just make sure to protect myself when when
Yeah.
I'm there
Yeah.
and when I leave and when I come home. And those are the things that I just have to have faith in. And that's really where it all boils down to protect yourself in these situations is having faith.
Yeah.
No matter what God you believe in, whatever you believe in with stones or oils or, salt sticks, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you have that belief, I think that is what really is the powerful thing.
Yeah. Yep. Guys, my computer's about ready to shut off. So
All right.
we are going to have to close this show up.
Yes.
We appreciate you all showing up for this impromptu afternoon
Yes.
one. And like I said, this, you never know. We may decide to do some more of these, and we will be doing one on crystals. So we'll get back with y'all.
Yes,
on
definitely,
when we
because
do that one for
that's a big
sure.
passion of ours. We really do
Yeah.
love it and love talking
Yeah.
about it. So
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Thursday night we have Robbie Rains, and then on Friday night we have Robin Terry and Mike Couch. So
From
pretty good
Ashmore
shows.
Estates and Rhodes Hotels. And if you don't know, Robin Terry is the owner of Ashmore Estates, and Destination Fear
Yeah.
just did an episode there, and it was released last week.
Mhm.
And it is on, it's on Discovery Plus. So check it out so you can get a bird's eye view of what was happening.
And
It's
he
really
also
cool.
owns the original Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine, which is really
Yes, he does.
cool. Anyway, we appreciate you guys coming in and
Yes,
joining
thank
us
you,
on a
guys.
Sunday afternoon. And we'll see y'all Thursday. Have a good
Bye.
night.
Bye.